G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is an Instigating sniper rifle with bullets exploding for area damage and plus 250 damage resistance whilst reloading major and minor legendary effects respectively. So for those of you who are bored with the low health, high damage builds, here is a high damage, high health build. We're going to be using the Instigating effect to bolster this thing's sneak attack critical power to make this thing very powerful, possibly capable of one-shotting Scorch Beasts, we'll see. That 250 damage resistance whilst reloading is a little bit buggy at the moment, but if I'm told that if I reload this thing whilst crouching, which is probably what we're going to be doing anyway, since we're going for a sneaky approach to this, we won't have any problems with that, but we'll be able to test whether that's actually a thing that breaks if you reload, whilst standing up. So we've got the 50 receiver on this doing 113 damage unspec'd, which is pretty terrible to be honest, but we do have a magazine of 5. The rechambering speed is going to be slow, but that's just a hunting rifle for you. They're not the quickest things in the world. So let's chuck on some perks to make this thing look actually passable. So we've got Rifleman times 3, and of course it's an explosive weapon, so if we chuck on Demo Expert, that'll boost our damage ever so slightly more, and we've got room for Bloody Mess here to boost our damage. Now I've got Critical Savvy on instead of Serendipity because I'm going to be doing this at presumably high health all the time unless I get taken down a few notches, but having criticals happen twice as much, not exactly twice as much, but basically twice as much. Well, that'll help us increase our damage even more. If we stack the VATS criticals on the Instigating first hits with the sneak criticals, you get a whole lot of damage. And just to break that down, we're going to be getting a 3.75 times multiplier off Covert Operative and Mr. Sandman, as you can see right here, and that times 2 from the Instigating equals about 7.5, so a 7.5 times multiplier on 228 is pretty damn good indeed. Okie dokie, perks applied in the order that they should, this one first and then this one, and taking a quick look at buffs, and also that, we're going full Chameleon because full sneak criticals is good. Bullshit game, they did not see me, and I called its bluff, and it said, yep, you're right. So I've got this with a medium scope, which means sniping is going to be very, very easy, and the sound's ever so slightly altered because I've got a 50 and it's got a suppressor on it. It makes a different sound compared to the hardened receiver. Now this thing, despite having probably a lower damage that you could possibly get if you're not using the Instigating effect than the bloodied black powder pistol, and there's our first reload. Let's see if we've lost all of that damage. I can't tell the damage numbers, the muzzle jumps too high. But even when out of range, we can drop these guys very, very quickly. And I haven't had to use VATS criticals yet. Haven't had to use VATS at all. So I'm just going to train my aim. And as you can tell, the 3.75 multiplier is showing up. So that's pretty good. We'll quickly finish off whoever's left here, which I believe is just this dumb turret. And then we'll go around this way, and we're gonna hit them from the other side today because they're so totally used to seeing me on this one. So I'm gonna reload this thing now and check out the damage for a second with that full adrenaline. 347 should be hitting for about 600 or somewhere around there. I really couldn't see that. We'll try again. If we can't one-shot the super mutants in the torso at this point, okay. Well, anyways. Looks like we've made that bug happen, popping the reload in crouching. Well, he was already weakened anyway with a sneak critical. 978 seems a little bit weak, but it does the job. So even if this thing is a little bit bugged right now, we're still managing to shoot these guys and kill them in one hit. Oh, a skirmisher. I could probably gank him with explosive damage, right? There are 2 shots. Yeah, explosive damage is only good if you're actually getting the direct hits, which kind of defeats the purpose of explosive, but whatever. If you want to be really safe about not having your weapon bugged, just unequip and re-equip it. Okay, we're on the inside now, and I've forgotten my controls, but we'll just shoot everything. That was an interesting amount of damage that okay, maybe the server's getting itself limbered up a little bit because I've only just booted up this server, and I expect the occasional hiccup sometimes because, I don't know, maybe this server was lying dormant all day waiting for me to get home. I'm not really sure how it works, whether it just pops on random unused servers that normally would have been reserved for adventure if there was more of a player base to keep multiple servers running at the same time. Who even knows, but in terms of performance it works. It works better than anything else, so that's pretty good. And I've got this fitted with a true barrel in stock, so once we're inside here, we don't actually have to scope in to make our shots accurate. We're at a close range anyway, where the little bit of deviation that we do get out of the hipfire accuracy is not going to matter all that much, because the super mutants are big boys, and they tend to fill up your crosshairs no matter how far away you are from them when they're at least as close together as they are now. And we'll quickly keep on shooting those guys, and looks like we've lost the damage. Which is especially a huge pain in the ass when you've got... Nice one, Escape Artist. When you've got to reload this thing every 5 shots. So really, it's kind of like a memory muscle training game sort of thing. Muscle memory training, where you need to be crouched at every turn so you can actually make use of this thing's damage. So in terms of like a stealth rifleman training wheels type weapon where it punishes you for not playing right, well then that's pretty good. But you know, sooner or later you'll be playing around with this thing, you'll forget that you've got that random ass broken legendary effect on it. You'll reload it, and then you go to shoot the next target and you'll do minimal damage, and you'll think, well, this is fucking stupid, I'm out of here. Into the script machine with you. And you'd be right to do that, to be honest. Honestly, I feel like most of the time the 250 damage resistance whilst reloading, it's a deal breaker. It's absolutely terrible to have on your weapon, because it limits your effectiveness basically on everything. Every conceivable thing you'll be reloading while stood up. And unlike these specific cases where I'm just going to cheese stealth all the time, something like a minigun would not be able to do much like that. And luckily it's not bloodied explosive right there, because I would have totally killed myself. But as you can tell, this is a slow thing. Not nearly as slow as a black powder pistol, so we are actually able to kill these super mutants at a reasonably rapid rate, but it does leave something to be desired. Even a lever gun with the same legendary effect lineup would be cleaning house quicker. I'd probably be in the hell room by now, despite having the same ammo capacity, but the rechambering speed is just what kills it to me. When I used a bloodied fire rate one, I tuned it to have like a faster receiver, so the barrel cycling was a lot quicker, and it really improved the weapon's performance and my time with playing for it indeed. So, yeah, there's something to consider. If you do have a fire rate one, if it's bloodied, then I suggest you check it on, because the rechambering time is more akin to what you'd think of a battlefield, and you've got the damage to back you up. So you can get away with, you know, not having this thing, or having it pull the punches on the damage just to get the rechambering speed, and the DPS, I reckon, would be higher. But that's neither here or now. That's a completely different weapon that I've already gone over. And honestly, it was still the most enjoyable hunting rifle I've ever used, and now we're in a little bit of trouble. Escape Artist does its thing again, and we're back to cheesing the sneak criticals like we were. Yeah, people have the goal to tell me Chameleon doesn't stack. No, just kidding. No one's told me that in years. I think I've sent the truth out there enough for people to realize that, hey, this does stack. And the reason why I reckon they didn't think it stacked was because they just thought it was the visual effect and didn't actually, you know that there's some sort of stealth boy effects going on here. And I know better than to stay in this fucking death corner. I know exactly where to go. Adrenal reaction to the maximum, people. Close the panic room doors. You can't get in. Back into caution and fire through the walls. They haven't fixed this bug at all. I'm not going to fire at that minigun though. Okay, apparently bullets can just bounce through this sometimes. That's bizarre. Anyways, let's get back out there. It's only a doggo can one-shot it. Make sure we stay close to the ground so we don't munt our damage. Fucking hell, this is risky. I'm going to get away with it though, because I've got full shadowed chameleon armor. I think both of the legs are light too, so I don't actually mind having light armor if I'm, you know, going not taking hits, because sometimes having the heavier armor, I believe it penalizes you for stealth. So yeah, I definitely prefer the lighter armors for this particular character. Also, it also helps with the carry weight, because normally when I'd run around with unyielding, I could boost my strength to somewhere around 10, but when I'm running full chameleon, well, and especially when you're running a rifleman build, I'm fortunate enough not to have picked up any legendaries, because that would send me straight over capacity. Anyways, let's go. Let's go shoot something else. Okay, if it wasn't inside the super mutant place where stealth was critical, it's even more so now. And I always trigger this bomb because no one else is in the server to trigger it before me. So, gotta kill that little rad roach there. And now we may begin ghoul slaughter. And I'm just going to use this thing and VATS now just to show it off because I did all of the shots using my own ability to aim, which hasn't failed me too badly today, so that's pretty good. Although there's no real excuse for having a scope like this and missing. Like, even in Nuclear Winter, I expect me to hit most of my shots while scoped in, and I get annoyed with myself if I don't. I demand perfection. Anyway, so there's the big boy over there, and we don't have any AP left. Oh, it's because we're over... Oh, of course, the tin cans. That's okay. Probably don't need to sprint around all that much, to be honest. I think we'll be right just with that. Ooh, and there's a legendary tool there. And unfortunately, can't really get too much damage out of the explosions to make it viable in a super crowd control where there's bodies everywhere to bounce the splash damage off of. You stay away from me. I reckon ghouls would fucking reek, like, of corpse and piss and shit. Really bad. Like, you'd smell them from a mile out. They'd be terrifying, I reckon, because they're basically mindless zombies, but they can take off like Usain Bolt. I just got pushed by one, I think. I didn't, unless I hit the wrong button. But anyways, regardless of how these guys would act in real life, let's be honest, they'd be dead. Ghouls wouldn't exist IRL. Their brains are rotted away. They'd just be fucking skeletons at this point. Maybe deformed, because they're I don't know. But let's just be thankful that ghouls don't reel. Anyways, so it's been a pretty cruisy run through here. I think the hunting rifle must be super silent because the stealth has not let me down whatsoever. The moments where I've actually been in trouble haven't been in here, which is good because once these guys detect you, well, it's kind of open season. Why am I picking those up? I'm near the maximum amount of caps anyway. But there's usually a couple around here. We'll quickly finish those blokes off. And then we'll be off to something a little bit more substantial and have about half adrenal reaction, maybe 60% health worth of bar there, and almost 400 damage, 400 times 7.5. Quick maths, high damage numbers, I don't really know. Okay, so 400 times 3.75 clocks in at about 3,000, so we're hitting just under that. Can we one-shot Swan? Not quite. I tried. Shot it! Special thanks to the survival tent exploitation for keeping me underweight. It is entirely feasible that we'd have killed Swan if we had a higher amount of adrenal reaction or a nerd rage threshold, but we're not doing a low health build today. We're doing a medium health build apparently, because I've just kind of let this damage stick around. I had more before, but then I had to eat and drink to make sure those bars didn't fill down. I didn't get killed in any way, because Rejuvenate is fun. You get some AP regen out of it. It's a very good perk, actually. You get extra health than you normally would from being fed, and extra AP regen for being hydrated. Like, there's a reason why it's my go-to perk. If that wasn't the case, I'd probably go 1 in Radical, maybe, because I'm always running around with those bloodied builds. I don't have a critical ready. Didn't really matter, I just pulled one out of my arse and wasn't able to secure the kill there. The Milet Queen, a little bit tougher, and yeah, like I said before, about 400 damage. Oh, it wasn't 400 because I wouldn't have had any adrenaline at all. Might have had the adrenaline from the mole rat I shot beforehand just to get the critical, but yeah, maybe with full adrenaline you could do it at full health. Drum roll please for actually no, don't reload it. There we go. Okay, apparently I didn't finish the reload, but it finished the reload anyway. That's interesting. I wonder if Ah, okay, so that still works. I'm wondering if I could just sidestep reloading at all if I just unequipped it and re-equipped it quickly, but just like other things, that's a big Noposaurus Rex. And now we can snipe. This is so much better than a black powder pistol because it's got a scope, you can aim with it, it's got a higher ammo capacity, it really obsoletes it, but this isn't really a novelty weapon like the BPP. And yeah, you can have fun misconstruing that into whatever acronym you want or whatever. But yeah, I mean, the hunting rifle is mediocre in general, but compared to other weapons in this game, it's just sort of sitting there where it's not completely useless, but there are so many better options. So I'm guessing mediocre might just hit the nail on the head, to be honest. But it can certainly do well if you've got a spec duct for it. It'll look after you if you look after it. And there, a little bit of a loyalty 2-ray streak going on, but there are better options. See lever gun, and I did reload this thing standing up, so whether it actually made an effect, I'm not sure, because I'm still clocking 2k damage on the noggin of those bad boys. But yep, let's move on. I want to see if I can't one-shot a Scorch Beast. Okay, before we go for Batman over there, what I'm going to do is quickly gather adrenaline. I really shouldn't have gone for the head there. We've got the critical. We won't use it until later. There's usually one more around there. There he is. There we go. That's 2 out of 6. And if he's in caution, he might have spawned his insane scorched posse. So we'll just go towards where he's spawning, and we'll see if we can't pick up anything. Not seeing much. Okay, I have wasted the critical there, but that might have aggroed a couple more of the bastards. Just blink away at them. We'll be right. It's going to take a while. Oh, okay. They're annoyed with something over here, which is potentially... Okay, we're in danger now. That's not good. So, whatever's over here is drawing the aggro, which is going to make this fight tough, because I won't be able to get my multipliers that I so desperately crave. Back into caution now. A bit of acid around, but you know, don't worry about that. That's fine. You're close enough. Critical activated. Not quite enough. And holy crap, we're really cutting it close. Alright, this couldn't possibly fail. I couldn't possibly fail to one-shot this guy, right? Get out of the way. I'm trying to shoot your friends. Okay, that was a bit of a wasted opportunity, but I wanted my critical, damn it. No, can't do it. Like I was observed in the past. Perhaps it's just the extra explosive damage resistance that the bats contain, because why wouldn't they? Hey, your reload is supposed to be 10 seconds. Sometimes I feel like the Scorch Beasts break the rules on their own thing, unless the Bethesda stealthily change them back, which honestly... They're about on the threat level now that isn't completely blindingly ridiculous, so I think they made the right call to give them a little bit less of a reload time. So in my endeavors to one-shot things, I've basically one-shotted nothing during this video. Nothing that any other weapon couldn't one-shot. I mean, I could one-shot a Super Mutant Warlord. Come on, hit the bastard. Fuck it, I'm going for the... Jesus Christ, what is this thing? Fine, I'll just do it myself. If you want a job done right, you gotta do it yourself, but... Yeah, it's a bit meh. It goes alright though. If you are looking for a decent hunting rifle and would like to see this one in your game, if you want to use it, I'm free to have this thing sold, and I don't really ask for much in return. Give me something interesting, and maybe we can exchange it, but I'm not after caps right now. As you can tell, Winter is loaded. She's so rich. And you're dying. Holy shit, that was almost a trade kill. I'm just gonna go over here and hope Escape Artist saves me. Also, I'm wearing all black because I've got the Blackbird paint on the hunting rifle. Probably haven't seen it all that much. And I've also got the black backpack with a shovel on it, which is annoying because it clips, like, constantly. It's not a very good skin.